Okay, perfect. And no echo. Okay, so it's a little after 1 now, so we'll call the meeting to order. Affirmation of public notice. I got an email on that, so yes. Item number 3, opportunity for public comment. Anybody wishing to speak?
Charlie, can I make a recommendation that we go around and do introductions?
Oh, okay. You want to start?
I'll start, sure. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Cassie Hannon. I'm the administrative coordinator here at Vernon County.
I'm Sandy Schwager. I'm supervisor for District 15.
Ben Moyan, County Conservationist, Land and Water.
Jack Zabrowski, Mississippi River Regional Planning Commission.
Petrie, County Board, Town Board, Webster.
Matt Albright, zoning administrator, Vernon County.
Lawrence Johns, county surveyor.
Wilbur Kerr, Town of White Sound.
Pete Strachan, zoning coordinator for Harmony.
Charlie Jacobson, County Board, District 11.
Kay Stanek, County Board, District 19.
Monique Kosman, GIS coordinator.
Citizen, Tim Ridley.
And also CW Madison Division of Extension, Vernon County.
And
So you want to introduce himself?
Tim, did you want to introduce yourself?
Okay. That says TH.
Okay, so back to number 3, public comment. Nobody online. Okay, moving on to number 4, overview, goals of process, Mississippi Regional Planning Commission, and back to Jack.
Jack Zabrowski again from Mississippi River Regional Planning Commission. Does everybody know what the MRRPC does? I mean, I can give you a little bit of a brief overview. They kind of create plans for all the communities in the 9-county area that we cover, all the way up from Pierce County down to Crawford. So we're going to assist you in forming your comprehensive plan. And today, does anybody have any questions about what a comp plan does, or what it is, or how it works, or any questions about that?
Because we'll hear it, and because historically we went through this process and they voted it down.
Sure. Tell me more about that.
Well,
Okay.
you should be at Hillsborough where they're attached to a bar where you're listening to a public hearing about how you don't need, so this is 09 and 10, and it was quite a lively debate at that time, but so I'm sure it'll come back again.
Okay.
And I think one debate is, how required is it? Like required, or what are the implications if you don't? Because that was a big part of
Yeah.
And I'm supportive, to be clear. Just historically, I know Oli and I saw a lot of this and a few others at this table. It was pretty interesting back in the day to watch Vernon County go through this process and then refuse to adopt it.
So it has to be adopted by ordinance. It doesn't have to be adopted as an ordinance. So it doesn't become law. Comp plans used to become law. Like everything in it became a law. That's not the case anymore. And I would direct you all to look at section 66.1 of the Wisconsin statutes. It's all about comp planning. There's a little bit of interpretation in there. I don't want to get into the legal part of it. I mean, I'm not your legal advisor, but it's something you should all read and know about. And maybe we can talk about that more later. There's a lot of interpretation. There's things that have changed in there since 2009. So I think you probably just want to focus on where you want your community to go, though. Like that, the overall broad vision, the goals. Comp plans can be, the piece can be updated if you like, but it doesn't have to be. But there's always going to be detractors that are going to say, no, we don't want that. They don't have to opt into it. If you come up with a zoning code, they don't have to opt into it. They can just ignore it and do their own zoning. So, I mean, this is the big umbrella vision for your county. And that's what you want to focus on, that part. I know what I'm saying will be highly screwed, but that's where you want it to go. This is a roadmap for your development, for your any other ordinances you want to have be part of the future of the next 40 years of this county. So
So the town adopts zoning ordinances, it has to be less restrictive than the counties, or what's the
the
process?
towns in Wisconsin are the unit of government. So the towns have all the power. They can have a more restrictive zoning code,
Oh,
but they can't have a less, but they can totally ignore your zoning code as a county.
Yeah.
And if I'm saying anything that you,
No, they don't have to adopt it. And there's counties around us that, not every township in the county's adopted it,
When you say ignore it, you don't mean ignore it. They have to opt out. When the
Yeah.
county board if the county board adopted a zoning plan, then a town could vote not to have that enforced in their town. And the other question I have is, what about the 2009 comp plan, which is a complete plan that was voted down? Are we using that as a starting point? Is that playing any
well,
role in this?
that's a good place to segue into what we're going to talk about. So I guess the first item there was the timeline. So I made up the Gantt charts that show kind of what we're looking at starting in January 24. And then, our target date for completion will be March, April of 2025. And then, moving
As
along.
long as you're on that, let me just ask, that hasn't been adopted by this committee yet. So that's just a proposal. Is that correct?
This,
It's just the guidelines, basically.
It's just a proposal. It's not, this committee hasn't, this first meeting of the committee. And as I understand it, this committee is the one that decides whether that's the timeline or not. Is that correct?
that's very true. Yes, this is your plan, not mine.
Correct.
But
Did you develop this timeline?
yes. Well, you signed a contract that said this is the end date. This is the beginning date. So I filled in the middle
I see.
with standard comp plan.
It seems pretty long to me. That's why I'm saying for economic development, they gave us a 1-year extension to work with grants. We need to have the plan in place. So that's why I'm asking why it's so long, if it could be earlier. We need that for grant writing, and unless they'll grant us another extension, I don't know. But
I think
So the thing about comprehensive plans is that really, go ahead, Georgina. You really want it to be the community's plan.
But we've already had all of these meetings in 2023 by your group and by Place Dynamics to talk about planning for economic development. So I think they've gone through a lot of the basic stuff. I don't know what it's going to be differently, but I just wanted us to realize that some communities have already had some discussions about this. So I would want new discussions to be unique or some way different, because otherwise they're going to wonder, why are we coming back to ask the same
Yeah.
questions?
these prior meetings, I guess I'm not aware of them.
Well, they had them in Westby, they have them in Broqua, they had them in Hillsborough. And
It's not a planning, this is the first meeting of the planning committee.
Yeah, but who had these meetings?
Mississippi Regional Planning
I
Commission.
don't
And
think we did that. It was a subcontractor. That name is, I
Yeah. Do you
don't
remember?
remember who the name was on the plan.
no, they did. They just did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just did it.
MRC did do a separate set of. folks.
That was an economic
Yeah, for
development.
economic development.
Right,
Yeah.
but it's asking many of the same questions. That's why I'm asking, before we get too far into it.
And you're seeing if we can use that data.
Yes.
Yeah.
we got
replicate it.
Place
Yeah.
Dynamics
Yeah.
has been doing things uniquely, interviewing people. I mean, that seems like it should come to the table, and then we worry about what we're gonna do next. I don't know. I mean, we paid 40,000 for that 30,000. I don't know what. So we
Yeah.
might as well use that
Well,
data as well.
That's one clarifying question. Okay, so you're indicating that there are grants that would be of assistance to the county that we can't apply for because we don't have a.
We have gotten it, we've gotten an extension.
But I mean,
Yes.
without a comprehensive plan, we're not.
And maybe they'll take the economic development plan and that'll be enough. I don't know. But I just know we got a 1-year extension.
For a comp plan or for an economic development?
I don't know which it was. We were just told that we're on, and it perhaps is economic development.
So economic development is one of the components of the comprehensive plan. So, I created an existing conditions report, which I submitted to you, and have you shared that with me, Dan? So there's a 77-page existing conditions report. I'd like this group to review for errors, omissions.
Not yet.
No, I haven't shared it with everybody yet. No. That's
So
what
have a look at
get out.
that, and then that will kind of be the baselines for where we can start to develop our key issues from. This is a kind of a schematic of what we're going to move along through this process. So we start with data gathering, which was that existing conditions report, which had been done previously in 2003, but everything
But you
changes. So
didn't
we update it.
incorporate the new stuff. Aren't you Mississippi Regional Planning Commission?
Yes, I incorporate.
Am I misunderstanding? I thought you were the same agent.
So the economic development plan is, the information's been integrated into that existing conditions report.
That we have not received yet.
Yes, Matt's
Okay.
got
But the new data that they collected is in your plan.
Yes,
Yeah, I'll
it's a
share.
part of it.
Okay.
I'll
There's
share that.
9 elements in every comp plan. Economic development is one of those 9.
But all that data that they collected has been incorporated then in
Yeah.
here.
I
Okay.
might ask Kathy.
So
I might ask, though, I mean, this is an important point. This 1-year deadline she's referring to, is that to have a comp plan or an economic development plan? Those are two different
My
things.
guess would be economic development, and I'm not familiar with that.
I
Okay.
think
Yeah.
if we could just
That-
hold the questions for just a few minutes and I can get through this, maybe it would answer a lot of the questions that would come up.
All right.
And then we can move to questions after that.
Well,
But
I
there's
just,
just a couple things I want to get through and then we'll,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So the next, we did the data gathering. The next thing will be identify key issues, which this group will do. And then goals will come out of that. And we'll take the old plan's goals, we can get a copy of that old plan and then sort of refresh those goals. Then we'll take those goals to the community and say, what do you think of these goals? Well, the first they'll come through this committee. Then they'll go to the community via survey, via public engagement. And then we'll take those goals and do another feedback round with them, with the community. And then we'll organize goals into policies, strategies, and then the land use strategies. And then out of that, we'll have a plan. That's a very broad overview of the whole plan. This Gantt chart lays that out. It does take a long time because you really want this plan to be owned by the community. You don't want it to be my plan or the county government's plan. You want it to be the community's plan. So that takes a lot of time and a lot of public engagement. So that can be done in many different ways, and we're going to try as many ways as possible to engage people on this. We want to get everybody to get a chance to have this be their plan, have them be engaged in it, even in Hillsborough.
I don't think Hillsboro's your problem. I think there's other townships that are a
Union.
bigger problem, much bigger.
No, I don't think Union. No,
I
I've been
don't
talking to
think
those
Hillsboro's
folks
a problem.
quite a bit. I have to go to their town's meeting
I don't know.
Let's not be.
next Saturday.
I don't know
Stay out
about
of-
municipalities, but I think Ben is correct. This is a hot issue.
Well,
And it's going to be something we're just going to have to be very careful about and listen to people and wade our way through it.
but it's been a long time since the last one. So before we start naming things, let's back up,
Yeah.
present the
Say it
information
again.
and see who's where. It may change, it may not change, but let's not do that to start with.
And I have just a couple things, like statements about what a comp plan is, just so when you're asked about it, you'll, have a gist of, I'll give kind of the elevator speech, I'll just read these. The comp plan presents a strategic framework for the guidance and accomplishment of coordinated, adjusted, harmonious development for the Vernon County. Recognizing the unique assets, challenges, and aspirations, this plan outlines a roadmap to promote growth and plan for the future. There's a current assessment of the demographics, land use patterns, transportation systems, environmental resources, and economic conditions. Ultimately, the comp plan aims at decision makers, community leaders, and residents in shaping the future of Vernon County. Fostering a vibrant local economy, preserving the county's unique character, ensuring well-being of all residents. I could send that to you too, just so
That'd be a good idea.
when you're asked from the community, which you will be since you're on this committee, you'll get questions about it. What it is, what it does. There's 9 elements. Each of those 9 elements will be examined thoroughly by this committee and staff. And then we'll form a plan from that. And there'll be goals and objectives for each of those elements. And the economic development part is nearly done.
So the 9 elements are a state plan or where do the 9 elements come from? I'm sorry, I'm
The
gonna.
9 elements are
That's great.
land use planning, transportation, housing, economic development,
I believe they come out of the statute.
community services,
Out of the
and cultural
statute?
historic preservation.
It was out of the statute?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. That's why we gotta read this
All for the
20.
9,
66.1, yeah.
Yeah,
and Vernon County has never had a comp plan, right?
Nope.
no.
Actually, 66.1001.
Sorry, I just changed.
6.1001.
Okay.
Hyphen 1 and hyphen 2. So those are the two.
Whatever that is. Yeah.
Hyphen what?
Hyphen 1 and hyphen 2.
Parent 1, parent 2.
Yeah, there's no hyphen.
Think I can find it? Well,
Okay, let's go questions now. Any questions, thoughts? There's a survey that I brought. I'd like you to review also. I've got an electronic, or that's to do electronically, and I have a paper copy also. So you can give me the edits on that. Electronically, you can give them to Matt, you can give me the paper copy and just write anything on it, whatever you like.
I guess I have a question about getting started, like documents like this or the statutes or the comp plan definitions you had just mentioned. Is there a place that we can all access it in one location? Or is there a place on the website that some of these could be housed or as a working group going forward?
Sorry, I missed the question.
Is there a place where these documents are going to be housed so that we could, all of us have access to them and
So we can't. do
the
it,
public
right?
has access to them?
I'll tell you that 2009 comprehensive plan is on the county website.
Yes, it is.
The old,
Yes, it is.
the old one.
The old
yes.
one,
Yeah, the original.
Yep.
Well,
OG.
the plan isn't, the inventory is.
No, the actual plan is like the actual physical, the draft.
It doesn't have goals or objectives or anything. It just has a existing condition.
Got it.
Oh,
You're probably right.
Yeah, I was looking at it.
Yeah.
And
That's what I was
Then they're gonna be on your
Yeah.
website or on the, like a homepage?
where we can house all this material.
Right.
It would be nice just to have it be easily accessible.
Well, but then like the 2009 stuff could be there and all the,
Well, the 2009 stuff is on,
but
But
in
not
one
in
place.
entirety.
I'm just saying,
Okay.
so it's all in one place.
sure. Trying to figure out how we can do that.
And a tab at the zoning portion, and then,
But it's
you know,
not
have
necessarily.
comprehensive
It's not
plan.
just zoning,
zoning.
it's more of,
Put it under zone.
Well, I
think it's
Somewhere on the county
Out
website,
on our
you know what I
website.
mean?
Oh, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there may be times where it's better to keep it as an email group, you know, if we're looking at
some
draft
yeah.
documents that are going to come before the committee prior to a committee meeting. It's more appropriate for those to be shared out in an email group than to just posted out to a public website where someone might see it and get really worked up and it wasn't even real.
Nobody gets what-
Well,
Nobody ever gets what.
but basic stuff that's
But basically,
ready like
yes,
that or.
information about,
And
you know,
if we're gonna
what is the
use this, then that
comprehensive
could
plan?
be.
What's our
up.
time,
We
our
have to-
proposed timeline? you know,
Yeah, your
thing that-
definition.
For reference, I think that's a great idea.
Or once it's approved, the economic development
Yeah,
part of
Yep.
it.
Then
If
we
they've
can put
already
it
done
on there once
Yep.
it's been.
Well, and not only for the committee, I think it's going to save us a lot of public questions if they have a place that they can research it themselves.
Correct.
Because there's other stuff that there's a lot of misinformation or lack of starting back far enough, and then we're
Mhm.
Yeah.
hearing about it.
We can brainstorm about that with Connor, maybe about
The best place.
where that would be housed on
That
our
would be great.
website. And
Okay.
share that out once that's determined.
In terms of documents, for example, the 77-page existing condition report, is it going to be possible to get a printed copy of this? I mean, I get tired of scrolling all through, and you know, it's so difficult to take notes, highlight stuff. Is it good? I'd like.
Well, I mean, you could print an electronic copy off.
I could, but I don't want to page 77 pages. I've got my computer. I just had to get another owner
I'll
to.
make it, I'll send you a copy.
Pages.
That document there?
Yeah, this one.
This one, yeah.
The old one.
No,
No.
about the 77-page document,
Yeah.
the existing conditions.
Yes. That's the.
We haven't received it yet.
Yeah, that Jack has shared with Matt, that Matt will share with the group, and then whoever wants a physical copy can request.
So George needs one. Who else needs one?
Haven't seen it yet.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'll send an electronic copy if you guys want a printed copy, then I'll then request one and I'll send it out.
Yeah, I'll come by and pick it up.
Yeah, anything else?
I'm not sure I've received the survey, or I'm looking at my emails from.
It's a link to view.
It's,
Did you get it?
yes, it was yesterday,
Yeah.
Yeah.
about
Okay.
11:30
You want to
yesterday.
give that to me? I don't need a copy.
It'd be good for the,
This survey was on there.
It depends. I started.
didn't-
Yeah, I don't need to start it.
You had to go, if you could go back
okay,
out of it.
yeah, I mean, for the committee to take a survey, then we can. kind of-
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, and I told them all to take a look at it, come here with questions.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Or could they take it to,
No,
I
nobody
just
took it.
looked at it.
nobody,
That's all.
if they could, that'd be great.
Just a.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so I guess
You know,
just,
I didn't know if we wanted to add questions to it, you know, because if we came with questions or things that we wanted added, that's why I said don't.
Yeah,
Why don't we give a time period for edits and then after that, we'll have everybody on the committee take the survey?
Okay.
Well, can we first, I mean, the survey hasn't quote been approved, 1, 2, we just got it yesterday,
Mhm.
24 hours ago. That's not enough time to look
Right.
at something that comprehensive. If, I don't know when we're meeting again, but I think that's the time when we're going to come together and make decisions as to what questions are in that survey. If we have any changes, any suggestions to changes, then we have to agree then as to what that survey is going to say.
And just to be clear, this is a survey then you want to send to other people, or is it just for the committee?
I want to have the committee take, review it, take it, and then send it. We're going to send it to the whole community.
Okay, so it's for the
How are
public.
we going to do that?
Well, we'll post it on the website and we'll have to do some ads. You know, probably some radio ads or in the papers.
How do you reach the Amish community that way?
You can listen to the radio. No.
Yes,
I mean, like for hard copies being disseminated?
Mail.
Or people that don't have internet?
Yeah, well, I'll just have to mail up to the bishops. I got a list of bishops. I'll have to mail it just like I did the dam stuff.
USB.
Work with the public library?
Well, no, I've got one of every, you know, and if they want to request one, we'll have to give them enough time to be able to request one.
Just because not everybody has electronic access, even non-Amish.
Sure.
You know, some folk don't have computers at home.
Previously, I had a stack at the library. If you want to stop in there.
Hence
And then
my
they could-
recommendation.
You know, they can mail it to us and we'll
Sure,
enter it for you.
sure.
So that's something we could do.
Cool.
Okay.
But I think we should, you know, have maybe go to some community events too and have some surveys there.
is there like announcements on the radio that say this is what we're looking for? And if you don't have access, you can contact this number or go to this.
Yeah, when that, sorry.
No, go ahead.
When the survey is approved too, I can put out a press release. And we can get that shared out as far as, you know, Vernon County is looking for your input on the comprehensive plan.
Okay.
That'll help too.
Great idea.
So we're probably getting ahead. So I guess just to make, we're following the agenda here. So timeline.
That was this right here. So I think I covered all that.
Yep, yep.
So it sounds like what Kay's question was then, this is different than economic development, that what we're looking for those grants.
Right.
So that takes care of your concern right away?
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
If
So,
it's a problem later, I'll bring it.
okay. So anybody else have any questions on the timeline? I mean, this isn't set in stone, I am assuming. We got a start date and an end date, and how long it takes in between is adjustable. So I guess I just don't want someone to say that it has to follow whatever. If we need to take more time to prepare.
With the rural people in the townships and stuff, a lot of them are going to be against this, so we need to take some time to really explain everything to each group
Mhm.
that they understand it.
Well, or if we can provide handouts like for, the garbage dumps or whatever. I mean, they
You have
can
a
hand
list
stuff
of
out.
when all the
I
townships.
mean, that's where a lot of people will go.
Mhm.
You have access to this, you have you have access to the mailing list.
Yes,
And if you could,
Jerry does too, so.
yeah,
So I see that community,
if you guys can mail that out to me, and I mean, I can stop at everybody's township
That'd be a good
meetings.
idea. Jerry would have, he could email out and
Yeah.
then people could respond to meeting dates.
Yeah, yeah.
The Towns Association next meeting is in April.
End of
So I see that's the beginning of our community engagement. So maybe that would be the goal, is to present this at the Towns Association meeting, so that is going to spread it through a lot of the town officers. Not every town is going to be there, but if they knew that this was going to be on the agenda, we might get even better response.
But they can bring it up at their annual meetings.
Yeah.
Everybody knows.
Right.
Well, and that's what I was kind of saying, that Jerry can send that out, or, you know, whatever, and say, hey, when's your meeting? Because I mean, I can make special stops at people's meetings too. I'm already going to unions.
But that'd be an easy way to at least
You know.
give the heads up to everybody.
Yeah, yeah,
It's not, it's a good start.
yeah.
Some of them will be fine and some will have questions.
Yeah, it's a long schedule, but this is going to be
It is.
a complicated, difficult.
But if it goes better, that's fine, but at least it keeps.
It's good
us on
short,
track
huh?
to start with. I mean, I like it just for the track. At least we have some plus starting place.
Mhm.
And then if, you know, we get, I mean, the public part of it is going to be where we're going to have to see how long we're going to take. Is how much we get in response and what we don't. So,
Well, we're already in February and we're kind of, things that are already supposed to happen that aren't going to probably happen until March here.
right. Well, we can adjust as we go, but I don't think we need to spend a lot of time today on it. Just it's a
The
start.
guideline is good.
Yeah. So survey review, is that, you want us to all look at this now, go over it?
Yeah, so if you can look at it now, you can look at it later. You can review it, send me feedback, and then we can finalize the copy, and then at your next meeting, you can finalize it, and then we can send it out.
Is it,
Yeah, there's a lot in there.
for those that can, do you want us to do the electronic version? Is that
Yeah.
easier?
Yeah.
Okay. And then if you're not, you can do the paper copy and
Yeah.
give it to Matt or
Mhm.
one of us and we can get it in.
Electronic.
And I can hand enter it too, can I? For them, or do they have to have? enter it
Once
on
you sign in, you only get to sign in once.
Gotcha.
Usually the way it
Okay.
is here.
the- So I just email you the
Sign in,
credit
yeah,
card or
once.
something, or what?
Yeah.
Okay, that's caution then. How do you make revisions? And then you want to have, you already said, once you sign in, that's it.
Once you complete one survey, usually it doesn't let you sign in again.
But you could go through half of it, stop,
I'm not
go
sure.
back.
Well, you can page through it and not do any
Not
answers.
fill it in.
And that's why, yeah, and that's what I did. That's what I did to start. I just
Yeah.
paged through it and I'm like looking at all the
I
questions,
looked at it too.
wrote it
I
down, wrote down my questions.
I did
That's
the
what I
first
did.
page and didn't know what would happen if.
Yeah.
we had-
Review it, not fill it out. You can only complete it once, but
Yeah.
you can review it multiple
Okay,
times.
all right,
Yeah.
that's good. I misunderstood.
Nope, that's all right. Yep.
We can get to a period two and just dump all the data out. We can start over. You know what I'm saying? If you want to go in there.
So if we just want to test run it
Yeah.
and sand.
Close out, then
Yeah.
What's your name?
place it out.
Yeah, and then, say 2 weeks, we want to start it officially and we got all our test run out of the way.
Well, and like George said, once you read a question, if you think about it for a little bit, maybe you'll
Mhm.
come up with something, you'll talk to somebody and do whatever, so.
Yep.
The bigger, the longer the survey, the less response you're gonna get.
Yeah, that's right.
Because this time we're at 24 pages, dump it.
That's
Do
right.
we want to set a deadline for, and the feedback about this, and then then you can approve it at the next meeting kind of thing, or?
Mhm.
So how long do people need to think they're going to review this and be able to? Any idea, George, how long you?
Well,
And this is I'll just give you, it's a really standard form that we use for all our comp plans, just so you know, this isn't the first run, so.
So you don't want us to really revise it then?
Well, this,
No. This is, we can tailor it to however we want.
Well-
This is our survey, our plan. Yeah.
We'll put it worked for others, we'll put it that way,
Yeah.
and then look at it
Standard.
and see.
A template
Yeah.
to work with.
Is,
if you want an ordinance for no horses on Cherhood Street, then, we can put that in there.
Oh, boy.
I don't think you live where I live.
that's right by the farmer's market, that won't stop.
Yeah, doesn't make any difference.
No, they're not gonna stop that.
That's an actual real thing that happens. And I was just being,
Or
We'll kind of ask the group here.
now that I remember going there.
It's not very silly.
okay, I guess just in general are we looking like 2 weeks? Cause I know we need to have some
Yeah.
urgency.
That'll be fine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we need to have some time. So is,
well, wait, so what's review, but then who's going to approve this final survey.
No, that's, yeah, us.
Okay, so are we gonna have a meeting, you're saying?
Yeah, and that's saying 2 weeks, the 22nd.
Okay, 2 weeks is fine with me.
Um,
I don't know, when's county board that day?
No, county board's the 15th.
Awesome.
March?
okay, I'm sorry.
February.
February.
I'm gone all that week.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Well, that's next week, right?
So today's the 8th.
February 16th, make it a week.
I guess
We can turn it
the
around
whole week.
or
I'm in,
all next week.
I'm in Arizona for the whole week.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
2 weeks.
Till the 22nd too.
Yeah, I'm
Are you-
gone. I'm leaving the 17th and back on the 24th.
Are you gonna have Zoom capabilities? Or are you gonna be on the golf course?
I don't know if I'll have Wi-Fi or not.
Okay. Because I was gonna say you could Zoom in too.
We had friends that volunteered to have a place for us to stay for nothing, so I'm
Oh, you can't pass that up.
not
Very good.
making any.
Is after the county board meeting, the 15th, pushing it too soon? That'd be a week from today.
A week to review.
That's okay with me.
Just gotta get on your horse.
Otherwise,
I guess I'd be okay with it.
otherwise,
That'd be fine, yeah.
you're looking at the week of the
Yeah.
26th.
Oh, that's
So
Yeah,
like
county board till.
1 o'clock on the 15th.
Scheduled for 9:30.
I-
We have
you
a presentation
know how
on the
they go.
landfill, and I think we're probably gonna have a lot of public.
I know I said.
I would not plan on us being done before 1 o'clock.
Okay.
I know, that's.
We have a lot of agenda
Would
items.
the 16th work?
Yeah.
For everybody?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we could do a morning
Morning.
then.
Sure.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
16th probably better. Anyone want?
9 a.m.?
Yeah,
Is that too early?
no,
Um,
can go 6.
I
we're at 9:30, I have to.
That morning.
Need some-
I don't
have my watch.
I'll just a few minutes
Right.
late, but
So 9:30 on the 16th?
Sure.
I can do morning.
Is this available?
The 16th.
What time?
9:30.
So just so you're gonna give me feedback next week and then have a meeting, but
Yeah,
we
Well, what we're,
made it a day or two to turn that around. The feedback,
so let's just say have your surveys done by Wednesday?
the feedback.
Sure.
We don't have to do the survey, I'm just gonna
Right.
look at the questions.
Yep.
Okay.
Decide.
Yeah,
I think
that's.
They do tend to be slanted, it appears, towards a pro-zoning sort of approach. I just want to say that was my first impression. I might be wrong if I go back and look at it more carefully.
So how do you get everything to Matt and then he'll forward it, or how do you want, I guess, how do you want our responses?
You could send it just directly to me, right?
Well,
yeah.
plus we'll hire a
I'll
committee. I
share
would
your
say
email
we
address
have
with
printed
everybody.
copies, and we can just go through it. Somebody thinks that something should be changed, that's when we discuss it. I mean, I appreciate we have an advisor here, but really, we need to make those decisions. And
So you want to go over it next Friday and we'll
that's
go.
why we're having that meeting.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know if we wanted to approve it right then and there, but yeah,
I think we'll.
or have it ready to go. Sure, that sounds good. Yeah.
So rather than submitting feedback in advance, we'll bring our feedback to the meeting on
Yes.
Friday at 9 a.m.
Yeah,
Either way, but yeah, I think that's the main.
Yeah.
focus here. Where it's gonna count.
9:30.
9:30
Until
till 9:30.
9:30.
Yeah.
Does that seem to
Thank
work with everybody, much as we can?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Be fine.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah, that's okay. It just seems like it's gonna take a lot of the committee's time to do that.
Maybe you want.
Well, that's what we're here for.
We'll get this in the beginning.
Yeah,
That's an important
here's what
step.
we can do. You could send me feedback. I can make changes and then I can bring a final copy to you to review at your meeting, and then you approve or disapprove.
no, sure.
And then that would save you
Yeah.
having another meeting.
Having to work through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, during the
You
meeting.
can work through it at that meeting, and then I can make changes and, then then you can make, line item changes
Right.
at that. And I
So
can just,
Yeah.
we can
Well-
accept it as that.
So we can technically do both. I mean, anything somebody wants, they can send it to you, they can
Yes.
make the adjustment.
Yep.
And then we can still do the discussion, and
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
so that's best of both worlds, probably.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you have anything that you're strong about, send it to Jack.
Then I'll share his email like right after this.
Well, but again, one person's opinion doesn't mean you're gonna change a survey at that point.
No,
Suggestions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or do you have enough cards to go around?
Yeah, you have enough cards to go around.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying, though? I don't
Yeah, you
want
could,
one person to send it, you make a change, next person doesn't like it, they make a change, you know? Sounds like a lot of work for nothing,
and this is, survey is just one instrument.
right?
We're gonna see themes emerging from community feedback. So the survey won't be the be all end all.
Right,
This committee will be, the community will be.
right. I mean, until we get a consensus, there's no use to start changing things,
Yeah,
in my opinion, anyway.
No, that's a waste.
You
of
know,
time.
it's a lot of time for you that may just go backwards again. That we can all agree, so. Okay, so next steps would be prepare for next Friday then, and then where else should we be spending some time?
One question I might have, Charlie, I think you're doing a great job chairing this, but are you the chair?
I am.
And so is that a part of the appointment process? Okay.
Yeah, county board chair.
Great. So next meeting, we'll have to
And we need,
approve a vice chair next meeting.
maybe that wasn't on the agenda, so.
And minutes, who takes minutes of these meetings? Anybody taking minutes? Does the
Right.
county board rules require every committee to file their minutes
Taking notes.
within
I got
30
it.
days of the meeting?
Yeah, I know.
Who usually takes minutes?
Some of these questions doesn't apply. You can't, it's this spot to say them. I mean, I'm retired, I don't
Well,
have.
then we'll have to elect a secretary at next meeting too,
Is that paid?
correct?
That's a
Where it
good,
comes from,
good
yeah.
feedback.
That or staff person takes
Not
minutes.
a-
Well, that's what happens in every other one.
Leave it.
Yeah.
The board staff does it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just don't want me to write anything.
Well, I mean, here, this is,
Yep, you can have.
But-
you can
that's-
have not applicable.
But it's the highlight.
this is the
Not,
right
Yeah.
there.
you don't need all the discussion and all the other
So
stuff.
anyway, your request, at least for this meeting, Matt.
Well, we can sometimes-
I'll share my notes, but yeah, as minutes, but like I said, I'm not the greatest at
Do need
keeping
something to
minutes.
say, or I choose not to answer. One or the other.
Yep, that, we can change that.
For the future, don't say going to fishing.
That's.
Only made it go out of state.
Add another line that says
As far as next steps, so
no comment.
we're the data
No,
gathering.
no reply.
Next one will be key issues. So identifying key issues from the community and then goals. So I would encourage everybody, and I'd like to get my hands on one of those 2009 comp plans, just so I can see what their goals are. That this committee can have access to that too, then you can see what their goals are and see which ones we want to bring forward and which ones we want to just forget about. So
And then.
that would be, and we can do a little bit of a formal process on that. I can help with that. But yeah, key issues. And
Do
then
you have
goals.
that plan housed?
I housed Doug Avalos, my predecessor, is the one that created or was instrumental in that. And I have access to his files. I'll go through that to make sure that
Can you share that with Jacqueline?
if I have it, yeah, absolutely.
Perfect, thank you.
Is the comp plan on the Vernon County website, is that the complete plan or just part?
Apparently it's not,
Part one.
it's part one.
There's
Because we voted
how
on
many
the
parts?
Yeah.
Great question.
It's the second
It's pretty
part where it
thick,
has
part
goals
one.
and objectives and everything that really is the meat of the plan is not on there.
What I will say that is included on what's available online is the previous survey that was taken and the results, which I found was really helpful to look at when comparing what was previously asked and the responses to what we're going to be asking. I might have jumped ahead, Matt, when you set that out to start looking at it, but it was nice to see what was asked previously and see what some of the responses are and have that be a baseline to think about, okay, there's something there maybe, or.
And where is that on the website?
So that was on the portion of the comprehensive plan that's available online. And if, Matt, do you have access to can you just show people where it's located now, just to resolve? And if you just go to the Vernon County website and go to government, and if you scroll down to comprehensive plan under plans and strategies, this is where it's located. And again, it's only a portion of the 2009 plan, but
Okay.
the survey results are in there.
There's a lot in there.
There's appendix C is the survey.
42.
You want to scroll down there, Matt?
It's very detailed.
There you go. Yep. So this is the survey method, what they did previously, how many surveys they've collected, what questions they asked. Matt, and if you just do a quick review, you can see that there's graphs of responses. So if you don't like reading, there's some graphs there that chart out some of the data that's already been collected. Now granted, it's dated, but it is data. So
Right.
it's just neat to look at and compare to think when you're reviewing the questions that we're asking today.
Oh, look at this, yeah.
Good idea.
Thank you.
Then that other plan that you were first talking about will get emailed to us.
I'll email it out. Yeah.
Okay.
And, I encourage the group to just go out and Google comp plans too. There's all kinds of great comp plans. The general trend is to have like fewer pages. Those documents from 10 years ago used to be like 400 or 500 pages. Now people are shooting for 100 pages. They want to make it a more digestible and usable, friendly document.
Yeah.
I just want to say I'm really excited about, helping with this process. My family is from Vernon County. Actually, I had a family farm over in Champion Valley, and my grandma was on Melanson Creek. Am I saying that right?
Melanson?
Melanson. Melantha. Is that an Irish word?
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, that's very exciting.
I think with the community, this is a great opportunity for the community to kind of guide some of the development that happens too. Just in general, you can't control development, but you can kind of steer it. And this is one of the ways that you can kind of steer it. So this is your chance to kind of make a better community through planning.
Do you have other counties that you would recommend you like their comprehensive plan or have worked with their comprehensive plan?
Yeah. Dane County, of course.
We're not
Compared to La Crosse all the time and
Well,
only half
the
their.
city of La Crosse just did their comp plan. They, Pepin County has a really good plan.
Okay,
That's one that we produced. I really like that. I reference that a lot.
okay.
Take it you didn't do La Crosse County.
No, I didn't do La Crosse County. No.
Did you do Grant counties?
Nope.
When I was just searching, they had one too, but I don't know. I have nothing to compare it to, so I don't know if it was good or not.
Yeah.
My concern with comprehensive plans, at least the ones that towns did, is so many of them were just fluff. It could have fit any town in the world. And then they had maybe a little bit of stuff that was localized. And they were just selling you all this standard stuff that they were stuffing into all these plans. We didn't. In Whitestown, we didn't hire anybody. We had a citizen committee. We spent 2 years writing the plan, actually writing it, reviewing it, editing it, and improving it. And then went into adopting a land use plan, which could be called zoning, but we don't call it that. We call it a land use plan. There's a tendency here to say, well, no, we don't have to, I believe that this is a citizen committee. We're representing the county and we should be on top of what's going on and improve what's happening here in the process, not only the process, but of course the final result. So if I'm a little bit assertive about, hey, we got to do these things, that's because of my orientation of how I think we should approach this. And by the way, I do think that the comp plan does mandate some things. Any zoning ordinance must follow the comprehensive plan if I read the statutes correctly.
Yes.
There are some consequences of planning of the comp plan.
Yep.
Anybody else have any other thoughts or last minute? Okay, so the next meeting date's been set.
Yeah.
Comments send in, but again, unless you get 10 of them the same, I don't know if I'd change anything right now.
Yeah, I think
So it's up to you, however you want me to handle it. I'll do whatever you want to do.
Right, is he?
If you want to have the committee.
That decides if comments are used or not, or should he bring them all forward?
But I guess what I'm saying is I don't know if I'd change what we've already got based on one person's request.
So what you want him to do is bring forward the suggestions and the committee will
Well,
get that.
I guess I'm saying I don't even know if we need to, if everybody's going to bring their own. I guess this way, if you're comfortable presenting it at the next meeting, do it yourself. If you'd rather have him present it, or that say that this is the comment and be anonymous of it, then send it in. That sound right? That way, if you were like me, you'll just say it. But if you don't, your opinion is important too. So if it's easier for you to send it through to one of these guys and then have it presented that way, do it that way too.
Good idea.
Okay?
Yeah.
Any other?
I think, so you just want to make sure when you're emailing me, you don't email the whole group and then it becomes,
Right.
Please, yeah.
you just email me. And I guess maybe if we're not comfortable with me making the changes, maybe we just want to do that, bring their changes to that meeting and then send me a document at the end.
Right.
With all the changes.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
didn't want you to have
Yep.
to change it 12 times and
No,
then
that's fine.
end up where you
Yeah, that's fine. Yep.
Because I've seen things go that way.
So we'll just have
Sure.
everything come
Yeah,
to a
we'll
document.
compile, we'll
Send it to
compile
me.
everything. Exactly. Perfect.
Okay.
Yep.
You do have my card though, if anybody wants to email me anything or questions along the way.
Could I get one?
Yep.
Thank you so much, Jack.
So,
And then Matt, you're going to work with Cassie for a website location?
Yeah, trying to figure out how we're going to house that and
I had made the recommendation to Cassie that we have a partnerships link that might make sense to do it there, since we're partnering with the community as well as the Mississippi River Regional Planning Commission. But Cassie thought we might have a different section on the website about strategic planning or something like that. So we'll take a look at what makes sense and what's already available. And
Right, and maybe Connor can tell us what we can have for a public folder, and then I don't know if it's possible to have a second folder for just committee members,
right, like on the
Share.
SharePoint or OneDrive. Mhm.
because that way you could do both. We'd all have access, but
Yeah.
public would only have access to what we want them to see.
but George,
So you,
Pete and Mary probably won't have access to that. That's the issue we're trying to work
so
around.
you can right click and change the.
No, but you're not going to have access to like Teams and stuff like that on our files. That's what she's talking about, so,
not on the county board.
right, you're not on the count. Yeah, exactly.
So in the GIS department, we're sharing data on a pretty consistent basis with members of the public. And what we do is we can change the permissions in there
Okay.
to include people at a specific email address, or we can choose a default anyone. There's some parameters that we can work with to make sure other folks can access that.
So we'll get it figured out.
So, yeah,
Well, we'll leave it up to Connor if it.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
would be against having a county one for this meeting if that makes Connor easier.
I'll run it past him. Whatever he's comfortable with. I don't know what he's going to be comfortable with, so I'll run it past
Connor
him.
and security. It
I'll
might-
leave that with you guys.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
because technically it's a county committee. So I mean, if that keeps the integrity of the system,
Mhm.
he might be more comfortable with that than using outside.
Yeah.
I think it's just a little unique because it's, I think they refer to it as a commission, Lawrence.
No, it's a committee.
Because once you have members of the public,
Well, the statutes provide you can have a commission or a committee, and this was named as a committee.
Yeah, so we'll discuss that,
Yeah, that's what it called.
One other just little question, do we get a per diem?
I think Bobby was talking about that.
Yeah, I'm not the guy to ask. I'm not handling.
I wonder so many.
Yeah, I know.
right?
You should, but
I think it's county committees, but I
Yeah, you
wasn't sure.
should.
So I thought I'd
They
ask.
just don't have the paperwork done.
yeah, so I think I heard Bobby and Cassie talking about that.
You guys will need to sign paperwork. I don't know.
Because for Vernon Manor, the public committee gets.
Yeah, so, yeah.
So that should be said,
And we have economic development has public members,
right?
Mhm.
so.
So you just have to get the sign-in form for that.
Yeah.
Get the form. Can you wait till next week? We'll get it done.
No, I was hoping to get paid today.
When you walk out that door.
Good luck on that one.
After the fact.
Once a month if you need it
I'll
or
be
not.
happy to see it this year.
Just here for the per diem. We'll get you a t-shirt that says that.
If that's the reason, then you probably don't want to be.
And the glory.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the glory.
Yes, there's gonna be a lot of that, I'm sure.
Got a lot already.
Okay, so at least progression wise, you're good with
Yep.
where we're at?
Yep, we're just keep
We
chugging
got till
along.
next Friday and,
Yeah, and then,
um,
And who will give me that? the older plan? Do you?
Yeah.
I'm gonna look for it. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna look for it.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure it's always in like.
Doug did a real good job of
Yeah.
archiving this.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of work.
Excellent.
And I mean, I was looking for all that stuff before and I.
For that
when I went to the-
website, I guess I'm wondering is, do we list members in there with contact information or somewhere? 'Cause I don't have phone numbers for
Oh,
everybody.
that is right.
I don't have phone numbers for everybody
I'm
that's
on
here.
my cell phone, nowhere near.
Sorry.
Give me the address, I bet I can find it.
I need to talk to him. The Harmony Exchange.
Yeah, there is.
Well, I'm just saying, or can we just get an email to the group with contact information?
Yeah, I can do that.
You have our phone numbers, the non-county board members.
We know.
Put that.
I mean, the last email should have had everybody's email address.
Right.
on it,
Yeah,
You know,
that's- that's
But-
what I
but
would
I
would guess
recommend
if
for
it's-
and
the
then,
public.
I don't know if you guys want,
But if it's something more, I just would
I
have a
wouldn't-
phone number for
I
somebody
wouldn't
if I
put
wanted.
it, yeah, you can make a
But for the
list.
committee
I wouldn't
anyway.
put
Yeah,
it
yeah.
out there.
Well, are there?
personal phone numbers on the website, okay?
Anyways.
Yeah.
No.
Blood type.
Yeah. blood.
Email addresses are fine.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I don't mind my phone number.
Everybody knows your phone number already.
It's in the white pages and the yellow.
Okay, I guess if
Yeah.
nobody has anything else, then we'll see you next Friday.
Do you need a motion?
Adjourn?
Well,
Do you need a motion? It's a committee, you need a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
technically you don't. If
Right.
that's the end, if that's the end, of-
You actually don't.
that's the end of the agenda, that's it.
Yeah.
Can declare it closed.
You don't. But it's the culture that we kind of.
Yeah,
Right.
and we've been.
But then the last meeting we went to is that